I used to hate running, but a few years ago I was invited to run in a 10K charity race. It was 6 days away, so I said, yeah, sure, no problem. How hard could it be anyway? A week later, I was still in pain. The lesson learned, I can't run a long distance race and enjoy it if I don't put in the time to prepare. Since then, I've run a lot of 10Ks and half marathons. I used to hate public speaking. Then a friend suggested I train for public speaking events like I trained for races. Best advice ever. In this video, I'm going to share my 10-step formula so you too can be prepared to speak to any audience of any size. Step number 1. When I decide to run a particular race, I gather information about when and where it will be and the type of terrain I'll be running on. Then I create a training plan that will get me into the best shape possible for that particular race. And when I decide to take on a particular speaking engagement, I gather information about when and where it will be, how much speaking time I have, the audience size and demographics, and especially what message I want to deliver. This is where I pay special attention to what knowledge and opinions the audience currently has about the message I want to deliver, so I can craft it and deliver it as effectively as possible. Then I create a first draft of my speech and a preparation plan that will get me and my speech into the best possible shape for that particular speaking engagement. Step number 2. When I'm training for a race, I'm looking to build up my overall conditioning so I can start the race strong, maintain a good pace throughout, and end with a strong finish. But I also pay attention to my weaknesses, which for me are hill climbing and running at a consistent pace. By focusing on my strengths and weaknesses during training, it helps me build the confidence I need for race day. And when I'm preparing for a speech, I make sure I know the beginning and ending well enough to deliver them with rock-solid confidence. I also run through the entire speech from end to end at least a few times, and if it's an important speech, I run through it a few more times. By knowing that the beginning and ending and main points of my speech are well prepared, it helps me build the confidence I need to deliver a great speech. Step number 3. When I'm training for a race, I add longer and longer runs into my training schedule so I can gradually build up my endurance. And I run on terrain that's similar to the actual race course. By doing these two things, I can simulate what the actual race will be like. And when I'm preparing for a speech, I try to give early versions of it to small groups of people. That way, I get a feel for how effective my delivery style is and how effectively the content works for getting my message across. Step number 4. In the days before a race, I make sure I get well rested, and on race day, I do these 3 things. Number 1, I show up dressed for the weather conditions. Number 2, I make sure I have enough time to get settled into the appropriate race section. And number 3, I do my final mental and physical preparations. And in the days before a speaking engagement, I make sure I get well rested, and on speaking day, I do these 2 things. Number 1, since I'm going to be the center of attention for the time I'm on stage, I make sure I'm dressed appropriately for that speaking event so the audience has a good first and lasting impression. And number 2, I show up to the event with plenty of time to spare so I can meet with audience members and get a feel for what they're like. Step number 5. Visualization is a big part of my mental and emotional preparation for a race. I visualize how various parts of the race will unfold, and I visualize arriving at the finish line at my desired race time. And I remind myself about these 2 things. Number 1, I tell myself that because I've put in the training, I can trust that the training will deliver my desired outcome. And 2, I remind myself that once I'm out on the course, my nervousness will go away. Visualization is also a big part of my mental and emotional preparation for a speaking engagement. I visualize how the various parts of my speech will unfold, and I visualize how my message will be received positively by the audience. And I remind myself of these 3 things. Number 1, I tell myself that I've done the preparation so I can trust that it will help me deliver my desired outcome. Number 2, I tell myself to walk tall and strong and keep my head up and look people in the eye. This gives me an I can do this feeling, and my confident external manner gives the audience an expectation that there are good things to come. And number 3, I remind myself that once I'm on stage, my nervousness will go away. Step number 6. In every race, I pick a few runners around me that are running at my desired pace, and I run with them for a while. If I feel the pace lagging, then I'll pick someone ahead of me and increase my pace to catch up with them. I'll do that throughout the race so I can keep at or ahead of my desired race pace. I don't run with the pack. I run my own race, and I use other runners to help me maintain or increase my pace. And in every speaking engagement, I do something similar. It's called eye contact. I speak to one person for a few seconds and then move on to another person in a different section of the audience. And depending on how big the audience is, I may be able to make eye contact with everyone over the course of my speech. But if I'm talking to more than 30 or 40 people, I make eye contact with one person in a group and then do the same with another group. That way, the audience members that are close to that person will feel like I'm talking to them as well. By doing this, I can make an audience of hundreds feel like it's a lot smaller. Step number 7. When race day arrives, I know it's time to put all my training into a full-on effort to run the best race I can, to run with the kind of energy and passion that makes it all worthwhile. And when speech day arrives, I know it's time to put all my preparation into communicating my message as clearly and effectively as I can to every member in the audience. I'm going to speak with the kind of energy and passion that all my preparation deserves and that the audience deserves. I'm going to speak in tones and rhythms and movements that show my audience that I really care about having them understand what I'm saying. I'm going to speak so they can see and feel every word. Step number 8. After every race, I assess how it went. Did I meet my pace and overall time goals? Did I improve on some aspect of my running that I was working on in my training? And if I was running with friends, I asked them for feedback. However, running a race doesn't offer anywhere near as much opportunity for feedback as giving a speech does. The beauty of giving a speech is that most everyone is watching you, and they can give you a wide range of feedback. You can ask audience members to track aspects of your speech and report back to you afterwards. You can video record your speech and review it later by yourself or with others. There are so many opportunities for getting valuable feedback that will help you fix your mistakes, build on your strengths, and strive for even better results in your next speaking engagement. Step number 9. After every race, I take a few days off to let my muscles recover from the ordeal I've put them through. This recovery period is an important part of my physical development, and during this time, I review the gains I've made and where I could improve. And I look forward to training for my next race. And after every speech, I tell myself that I've delivered it to the best of my current abilities. I remind myself that it's not helpful to get negative about the words I missed or the joke I flubbed. What matters is that I take some time to appreciate what I did accomplish and congratulate myself. It's done, and I'm ready to leave behind the tension and stress. I relax. I breathe deeply, and I look forward to preparing for and delivering the next one. Step number 10. Running, like most things in life, is a use it or lose it ability. Since I don't want to lose it, I always have another race to run in the near future. Plan, train, run, learn, and repeat. That way, I will continue to build my current fitness level and improve even more. And developing our speaking skills is no different. So once you've taken a bit of time to relax from the physical and mental stress of speaking in public, take some time to identify your next speaking opportunity. Leverage all the learning you've gained from writing, practicing, and delivering whatever speeches you've done so far. Like everything in life, public speaking requires practice. So, plan, prepare, deliver, learn, and repeat. And as you continue to build your speaking abilities, you will continue to get better at connecting more deeply with your audience and become more effective at changing hearts and minds. Hey there, Speak Your Mind. Rodney here. If you like this video and you want to get notified when more videos are available, then click the subscribe button and the bell icon so we can meet again in the next video.